all know this, but I promised Arizonans that I'd be an independent voice for our state. And throughout my time in first the U.S. Congress and now the United States Senate, I have been committed to finding solutions that work for all Arizonans, regardless of political affiliation or party affiliation. I just want to try and solve problems and get things done. Thank you so much. Well, and Mayor, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. Thank you all so much for coming. I know how busy all of you are, and so I'm really grateful that we have the opportunity to be here together. Really what I'd like to do with our time here today is just hear from all of you about what are your unmet needs and how my office and I can be helpful to all of you.
Senator Sinema has been a real leader in our area. She has always been available to answer the phone when we need something. She's always responsive to our needs, and when she says she's here to listen, she really is.
We are facing an existential threat because of this drought. As I said, we all succeed or fail together. So I want Lake Havasu and the community to know that I'm their partner in fighting to make sure that we're protecting water for today and for our future generations. I want you to count on me as a resource. It is my job to make sure I'm delivering results for Mojave, La Paz County, for all of rural Arizona. You know, I know that folks in rural Arizona feel like they are left behind and forgotten. You know, whether you go down to Phoenix and no one's talking about Lake Havasu City, or you go to Washington, D.C. and they're not even talking about Arizona. Rural communities often are left behind. And I know that folks in Mojave County and La Paz County know that I won't leave them behind. I was, like I said, born and raised in southern Arizona. I'm acutely aware of the needs of rural Arizona, and I'm going to make sure they get taken care of. It's really great to be back in Casa Grande. I'm really glad to be here with all of you. Pinal County, like many other regions in the state, is experiencing unprecedented growth. And that growth amplifies the need for enhancing existing infrastructure and new investments in projects. My goal today is to hear from you about where the opportunities to collaborate remains and where challenges still exist and how I can be helpful in overcoming those challenges and exploiting all those opportunities. And I want you to know that my team and I stand ready to support you in every aspect of the work that you're doing. We want to maximize the benefit from these programs. I fought real hard to get this law passed, and I want to make sure those dollars go back to Arizona.
Leaders and first responders from Yuma, Somerton, and San Luis talked about how they're handling the border crisis.
On the fire department, so we need to contact Somerton or Yuma to come backfill our stations, or we're upstaffing ambulances, we're upstaffing trucks just to be able to continue providing the same level of service to our residents.
Amanda Aguirre from the Regional Center for Border Health says money that's going to other cities in other states should instead be going to border cities like Yuma. Senator Sinema couldn't agree more.
Arizona is on the front lines of this failure for the federal government to address our border crisis and has been on the front lines for 40 years. So when we fight so hard to get some level of relief funding to just fairly compensate border communities for the work they're doing to address the federal government's failure to solve this problem, to see hundreds of millions of dollars siphoned off is very frustrating. So I've expressed my frustration to the administration, to my colleagues, and will continue to hold them accountable so that Yuma County, along with Pima County and Cochise County, get what they need to actually provide care, safety, and security, not just for the migrants, but for our border communities. I'm really excited to be back again to learn more about your needs and your concerns, and of course, my goal, which is to fuel economic opportunities in the region.
I want to start off by saying thank you for all of the heavy lift. The Highway 95, as you know, we have too many mixtures of things happening on that road that make it very unsafe. So
that's
we're
right.
Very grateful for this funding. Very grateful for the airport funding. We're the NDAA. I don't even know how to thank you for that.
Thank you for all of your tremendous support of Northern Arizona. You're just behind every good thing that's happening up here, from the monument to this new maintenance facility to our forest restoration and flooding.
Sunday, July 30th, we had about 3 inches of rainfall in an hour. And in this watershed, Mupagi Trails and the one to the South Brandis, both of which we had gone in and done additional work on for us. That's the expanded fan above the development, and it worked exceptionally well.
At the end there, you saw the video of what we saw a couple weeks ago. That shows like the work you put in, there's a real life scenario there. What was your thought when you saw
Right,
it?
that just made me so happy. You know, when we passed the bipartisan infrastructure law and when we passed future budgets, we specifically put dollars in for things just like this project. So when Lucinda called me in the spring and said, Kyrsten, they're not giving the money to us fast enough and we're gonna miss the season to get this done, I said, you have to get these dogs out the door right now. We will have fires that will devastate homes if you do not. Sure enough, they got the dollars. In the course of just a few weeks, they did the project, and as we saw, when the flooding hit, when the fires came, no homes were destroyed. So we've saved lives, we've saved livelihoods, we've saved communities, and we did it just by getting the system to work faster.
Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema met with Northern Arizona fire chiefs to discuss concerns over workforce capacity at a time when wildfires are growing in size and severity.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you to everyone for taking the time to meet with me and be here today. You all are playing the most important role to ensure that Arizona stays safe and can recover quickly from wildfires. So my hope in our meeting today is to get an overview from all of you about how you respond to wildfires, what challenges still exist, what you need from me and from the federal government to help you in both preventing and addressing wildfires.
Temporary pay raises were introduced in 2021 but expire at the end of September. The bipartisan Wildland Firefighter Paycheck Protection Act, sponsored by Sinema, would make those increases permanent.
You're a leader in all of those areas, and especially for the tribes, you have demonstrated it ever since you were in office. So we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all that you do for Native country.
I remain committed to each of you to ensure a reliable and sustainable water future supply for our state and for all of the Colorado River states and communities. I was born and raised right here in Arizona, and I take seriously our responsibility to protect the canyon.
Something that has been a long time coming and that tribal communities have been working years for to get done. This land sacred to the 12 tribes who call the area home, and they have gotten a lot of support from Arizona lawmakers. Senator Kyrsten Sinema, in fact, introduced legislation, and tribal leaders we spoke to say this is a step on the road to healing.
Never have I had this experience where they went like this, where everyone was thanking you for everything that you've already done and not requesting. So I just want to say that it's very refreshing and really awesome to be here. So thank you for being a badass.
Thank you. I do like to deliver. It is best to show up with delivery, not empty-handed.
It is so refreshing. I can't even tell you.